All right, welcome back to Hot Topics TV. Hit that subscribe button. Hey, man, listen. So Henry Ruggs, right? First of all, this video is about Henry Ruggs, yes, and it's about missed opportunity and squandered opportunity, but it's also about mental health and it's about crying out for help and basically not holding stuff in until it gets you in trouble. So you know it's not hard. It's not easy to make it to the NFL. This is the pinnacle of professional sports in football, and it takes a whole lot of guts and grinding to get to this level. You got to be some kind of superstar in high school. You got to maintain that through college, and then you have to go into the NFL and show out. So the former Las Vegas Raider wide receiver Henry Ruggs III has been formally charged with 4 felonies and a misdemeanor stemming from a car crash that happened last week or a week before last week. A 23-year-old woman lost her life in that accident. Okay, so the prosecutors in Las Vegas say that Ruggs had a blood alcohol content that was twice Nevada's legal limit when he slammed his car into Tina O. Tintor at 156 miles per hour. That is how fast he was going when he slammed into her car. Her car burst out in flames. Tintor was killed in that crash, and her dog also died in that crash. Janai Kilgo Washington, who is Ruggs' girlfriend, she was in the car with him, and she experienced a serious arm injury that required surgery. I've seen the video clip of them sitting on the side of the road, and he's freaking out and then breaking down, crying and freaking out. Here's the thing. His girlfriend, though, Kiara Janai Kilgo Washington. Girl, you were in the car with him. Why did you sit in the car with your man going 156 miles per hour? Why didn't you tell him stop? Why didn't you tell him let me out? I'm not up for this kind of fun. Don't encourage it in any way. But you know, when you have fame and you have money, oh, I'm with an NFL player and he's only 23 years. I mean, he's not only 23. The victim was 23 years old, but he's pretty young and he's out here living his life, right? Ruggs is 22 years old. His victim is 23. Young person killed another young person doing young people careless stuff. I talk about this all the time, where I say that scientifically proven that the frontal lobe of the brain, which handles higher thinking, higher decision-making skills, that part of the brain to be able to rationalize things effectively and think accordingly has not fully been developed yet in Ruggs, because he's only 22 years old. Science says that that part of the human brain is not fully developed until you are at least 25 years old. So he's 22, and I'm not blaming it on just his brain being not fully developed, because he is going to have to take responsibility for this. But I'm saying, you're his girlfriend, man, and you sat there and watch him go 156. Nobody can drive 156 miles per hour with me in the car. And the fastest time I've seen on any highway was about 75 miles per hour. And I've only seen those in a couple of places. So at 75 miles per hour max speed, and you are doing 156 in a 75 mile per hour zone. Oh man, bad decision. Not only that, you are drunk. You are pissy drunk. He wasn't just a little bit drunk. He blew on the breathalyzer twice the legal limit. Twice the legal limit. So he was way gone. Now on Wednesday, prosecutors charged Ruggs officially with 2 counts of driving under the influence causing the death of substantial harm and 2 counts of reckless driving. Ruggs, who is 22 years old, has also been charged with a misdemeanor for the possession of a gun and being under the influence at the same time. I don't know if y'all know this, but if you live in a state where your gun is legal to you, because there are some states where you can't carry a gun, even if you go get the paperwork for it. But in my state, Florida, Texas, southern states, most places you can. So for you legal gun owners like myself, please remember that if you get out there and you get in trouble and you are under the influence and you have your firearm, that it will be a charge against you. They won't be able to charge you for having an illegal firearm, but they will be able to charge you for being in the possession of a firearm while you are intoxicated. Because at that point, you could just go crazy and start shooting anybody. And what are you doing with a gun when you are that drunk? What are you doing driving a car when you're that drunk? You understand? Twice the legal limit. 156 miles per hour. I can't even imagine how that car was flying. I can't even imagine what he was thinking the moment he lost control of the vehicle at 156 miles per hour. You know, some people say, you got it. Yeah, I got it. I got it. Yep. That's what you say. You got it until you don't got it. And that's his case. He had it until he didn't have it anymore, and his vehicle slammed into her vehicle. Now, Steve Wolfson, who is the Clark County District Attorney, has said that the charges could result in as much as 50 years in prison. Brother man just made it. Just made it. Ruggs was not in court for the hearing, and his attorney, whose name is David Chesnoff, he was not immediately available also to respond to a request for comments from the news media. But speaking to reporters after the hearing, he said that it was important to not prejudge the case. I've been doing this for 40 years, and I can tell you that each and every one of you that I have had multiple experiences where the facts that were presented at the onset of the case turned out not to be the facts at all. This collision occurred November 2nd, when police received reports about 3:39 a.m. early morning local time of a crash involving a Chevy Corvette and a Toyota RAV4. He slammed the Corvette into the girl's RAV4. When they arrived at the scene, the Toyota was on fire. Fire responders found Tinter, the 23-year-old female, dead inside the car. Also, her dog. Ruggs was taken to a nearby hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. His face was pretty smashed in. It looks as if he broke his nose. His female friend, or his companion that was with him, her arm got mangled and needed surgery. After posting $150,000 bail, he was placed on house arrest, where he is required to abstain from drinking alcohol and taking any kind of drugs, and he is prohibited from driving under his bail conditions, according to the court records. The former first round draft pick out of the University of Alabama has also been released by the Raiders. So the Raiders are like, oh hell no, we don't want him over here. That's bad for the image of our business, what we represent, our team, and all that. So clean cut image is gone. He's got to go with it. Liability versus assets. Kick him out of here. He's become a liability. I don't know if he'll be able to keep any of his bonus that he signed for. I don't know if he owes this team any money, but the Raiders is a pretty storied team. The Raiders is a pretty historic team, right? One of the best teams. Some people dream, young boys dream of one day being selected first round draft pick by their dream team, the Los Angeles Raiders. Well, Henry Ruggs lived it. He did it. And this is what he did with what he got. Now, there are stories out there from friends of his. Some of them are saying, you know, I'm not going to ridicule him, and I'm not going to leave by his side. One of the players actually said, I'm going to stay by his side through all this. Even if it takes years, I will be there for all the prison visits and all that. I know a lot of people might say that with words, but time will show, because I will be there and time will show me being there. That's a pretty big commitment. You know, everybody talks good when you first get locked up. Yeah, I'm coming to see you, man. I'm going to see you. And then they're there for the first year, maybe the first 2 years. But as time goes by and you're sitting there doing 30 years in prison, people's lives change. They move location, their families grow, they have other responsibilities, their parents get old and are passing away, they have priorities over you, their children are growing up and getting married or going off to college and all that. So they kind of like put you on a back burner. I hope that somebody is going to be there for him. He sent a text message shortly before he crashed the car. And the text message, his friend said, sounds like he was needing help, as if he was not in a good place mentally. And he said shortly, not even 5 minutes after getting the text, it was all over the news that he had crashed into the RAV4, burst into flames, somebody was dead and all that. And that's how his team heard about it first, and that's how his friends heard about it first and all that. So I don't know what happened in his life to get him to that point, but sometimes we grieve, right? And from experiences, and we stifle these experiences inside of us. And then we start self-medicating, drinking, smoking, whatever. And then because we're feeling so dark inside already, we're like, hey, let's get in the car and drive. What's the worst that could happen? I can handle it. I got it. And then you start going 100 and something miles per hour, 156 miles per hour down the highway in what probably was a 75 mile per hour or 50 mile per hour zone, maybe even. Running from your demons. It's important to get help. It's important to recognize in yourself when you're not in the right place and ask somebody for help. It's just sad to see this brother work so hard for all this and then throw it away like this. I wonder what his defense lawyer is going to say, because they can flip this. They can be like, oh, he was prescribed a certain type of medication, which he did not know would interact with his blood alcohol level if he consumed the drink. And it also was responsible for a reading on the blood alcohol test that he was twice the limit or over the legal limit. But it wasn't him, and it wasn't really so. It was the drug he was taking for back pains. It was the drug he was taking for leg pains or whatever. However they spin this in court, I better hope they have a good spin on it. And then let's not talk about the liability and the lawsuit that will come after. The civil suit's going to be hell, and he's going to have to pay that. So we'll see where this goes. We'll keep him in our radar. And we wish him all the best. He's about to enter the prison system for sure. I don't think he's going to walk away from this. This is a DUI manslaughter. All right. Catch you on the next video. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Let's talk about this one. It's Hot Topics TV. I'm out. Peace.